if only you knew. I came to terms with the fact that these people actually don't like me. I just wish people could see beyond the numbers, like see beyond the pictures, just see me for me.
What it is, people of YouTube, and welcome back to another video on, yes, your girlfriend's worst nightmare. It is so good to be back. You know, one thing about me is that I'm not a consistent king, but when I come back, I definitely come back with something spicy and something great. And just like any other episode, this one needs no introduction, but the way we'll be introducing today. Hey, guys, you know, I've always said to myself, I need a baddie on the pod. You know what I'm saying? I always said, Cobbs, you need a baddie, bro. Come on, you been playing, bro. And, you know, we got a legend today. And I wanted to start off with a quote that I found, you know, somewhere in between, you know, doing all the research. And it said, if the only way to become excellent is by simply doing something that you find endlessly fascinating over and over again, and essentially falling in love with the boredom. And so, you know, yesterday you went on a very interesting rant. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the beautiful Thando in the building. And she told us basically about, you know, the fact that your efforts are not necessarily replicating in your results.
Yes.
And I wanted to start the podcast there specifically with no context. Why do you feel that way? What's been going on? But even better, actually. This is actually the formal way to say, Thando, like, how are you doing?
Okay, so when I was speaking about that, I was referring to my academics. I was even speaking to my best friend this morning.
Yeah.
And I was like to her, no one can deny that I work hard. You know I work hard because I've been pushing myself for many years now, you know, via my academics, because we'll get into why I value my academics so much.
Yeah.
But I just felt like the way I was working was like it was not showing in my marks or in my progress as a student. If anything, I just felt like I'm not operating at like my optimum level, and I'm not receiving much in return. So it's like high effort, low return.
Jeez.
And I was just thinking to myself that what if like I just stopped working as hard? Will that maybe, I don't know, do some inverse proportion thing, and then I actually yield high results? Because at this point, it's just like, when I was explaining it to my friend this morning, I spend so much time on my schoolwork. I spend so much time. I've restricted myself in crazy ways when it comes to making sure that my focus is on school. And I'd like to see that show, you know, because I feel like I'm just floating, like I'm just in the middle. And like, obviously from the outside, it looks like, wow, this girl is working hard. She's going off to school. She's always studying. She's always in the library. She's always doing this. She's always speaking about school. But like, I think for me, it was also a matter of if people actually had to, let's say now, to be very technical, look at my marks, they'd be like, you know,
it doesn't reflect.
That doesn't make sense. And I think for me, it was getting to the point where it was now like building into imposter syndrome. Because yesterday I posted a weekly dump because I had taken a break from social media, and the whole week was spent on just me doing my schoolwork and facing life. And I won't lie, like when I posted those pictures, it looked like, wow, this girl has been grinding the whole week.
And you said that,
know?
you mentioned
and
that.
People were commenting like, wow, someone commented on my story like, your school content makes me wanna, you know, put in more effort into school, etc. I get those DMs all the time. But then yesterday it hit differently, where it was like, hey, if only you knew.
Sure.
Do you get what I mean? Like, yes, it looks like I'm in it because I am in it, but I wish it was reflective. You know, like I wish I could say, okay, guys, look, work like this. And you get marks like this. But it's just like I'm working in a different way. But in reality, nothing's changing.
Sure, nothing is changing, eh? And that is the interesting perspective that we're going to unpack today, ladies and gentlemen. And that was Australia, to be fair, because like today I really wanted to just understand the back end of what it is, what it means to live a life like you do, And my whole research and everything that I've done, I've just realized that
research. You've been saying research,
bro,
research.
like Thando been on that grind, bro. What?
I'm just thinking to myself, like when you say research, I think formal.
Yeah. No, I've got. I'm just saying Thando Ngwenya there. I was like, oh, okay, she's there. Oh, she's also there. What? That's crazy. So I want to ask, like, for somebody that's kind of watching here today, what do you hope to kind of, give them? Like, what's kind of the underlying message that you hope to portray today, and why should people, actually watch today's episode?
Yeah.
To understand your perspective.
I think it also just adds on to why I even agreed to do this podcast. I've always said to my friends, especially, that I just wish people could see beyond the numbers, like see beyond the pictures, and just see me for me. Do you get what I mean? And by that, what I mean is that it's just easy to group me with other YouTubers or influencers, etc., because I am doing public work like that.
Yeah.
But I really do believe that like my story is special, and there's so many things that I've seen or gone through that I would really like to show more. And it's the reason why I even started my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I just felt like my Instagram was very one-dimensional. It was just like, okay, I'm going to post a picture, do my makeup, go outside, look nice, post a picture, and that's it. But like no one knows who Thando Ngwenya is, And I've always said to myself, and my friends have been fighting me for years on this, because I don't like believe in like a private life. Okay, I do, but I like showing who I really am.
Retweet, bro. Retweet.
Like I really enjoy showing
no,
who
I get that.
really
I get that.
am.
I get that.
Yeah, and I just feel like I haven't been given the platform to actually fully show that.
The uncut version, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we do here at your Girlfriend's West London. So thank you so much for coming through. Yeah. Okay.
So that's probably what I'd like, the audience to see. Like, there's something behind me, and I'm as normal as they come.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, like, the viewer will say, well, like you give off the impression, especially on the Instagram and stuff. And I really hope that today we can iron out some of those things. Yeah. So, we got to go back there. We got to go all the way back. We're going back to the childhood, So I want to know, not necessarily like the finer details, but what is what you say, one experience in your childhood that really shaped you into the person that you are today? One
experience. Yeah. I don't really think there's one.
Okay.
But like if I had to give you a cool summary about my childhood, is that I grew up in a very protected home, and I'm only realizing now that I'm growing up. Like I grew up in a home where my mom, my sisters, my aunts were very affirming of who I am. So even with confidence, I think confidence was something that I struggled with only later on. But growing up, like my mom would reinforce the idea that I'm beautiful, I'm smart, like the world is my oyster type thing, So I'm grateful for that part. I also grew up in a space where my feelings were actually validated. Like obviously it didn't feel like that in the moment, but for the most part, I do believe that when I had to speak, for real, it was heard.
For real?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So that was really cool. And if I think of my childhood again, it was academics, because I was star student from...
Oh, shucks.
Yeah, from like grade 1.
Read that also. I read that also.
I was star student. Literally from grade 1 up to grade 7.
Yeah.
Top 10 all the time.
Woo! Say it again.
Like top 10 all the time, So a lot of my life, I feel like when it pertains to my childhood, was poster child.
Yeah.
So it was, I lived a be like Thando type of life.
Yeah.
Which is good, but it can also be like extremely damaging.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
So I think that basically explains how I grew up.
Yeah,
I was more of like an example my entire life.
Sure, that's
Still
crazy.
am.
Yeah, that's crazy, eh?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
like, it's funny because I was on the opposite side of the spectrum.
Mm.
Okay, I wasn't like, I guess I was an example, but not in like the typical sense. Like, I wasn't very good at school. Never really got the school thing right, to be fair. Yeah, still trotting on, damn. And like, I just never felt like I also could be that example in terms of what my parents ideally want.
Yeah.
And so I feel for me though, the countering force with that was just, now that nobody can look at me, well then I can do whatever I want and just be free.
Yeah.
So now that you had like that expectation, what is the cost of the way you kind of navigated your life when you're young? Like, were you aware of it even when you were young?
I was.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, actually, now that I think about it, one moment in my grade 2 year, very traumatic actually.
What school were you into, by the way?
I went to Germiston South.
Okay. Say less. Shout out to Germiston South. Shout out.
It was, I like, now that I think about it, it was really traumatic in the sense of like my confidence and just me understanding where I was.
Yeah.
So in grade 2, I was in some class, obviously, like I forgot it was grade 2 something.
Yeah.
And I was the only top 10 learner in my class.
Sure.
So obviously with the top 10, it's 10 students, right?
Yes.
But then in some classes, maybe there'd be like 3 top 10s in that class, 4 top 10s. But I was the only top 10 in the class. So what would happen is that my teacher at the time, whenever she would get upset at the class, she'd say, like, she'd be like, okay, you guys aren't doing this, you guys don't listen to me, and that is why we only have 1 top 10 in the class. You know, so she'd do that a lot. And she'd be like Thando.
Yeah.
You know, like Thando's the only one who's a top 10 here. How does that look on me? That's what she would say. Like things like that. And it didn't build, I don't know, maybe she was trying, you know, that whole thing that parents do where they compare you to your peers and they think it's actually motivational, but it's actually like really damaging.
Yeah, 100%.
And we were 8 years old.
Jeez.
And it didn't do much to my classmates. In fact, it made them hate me in the sense that was the first year I actually got bullied. Imagine, I was being bullied for being smart, which is so crazy. But I got bullied in grade 2 because of that. I got singled out a lot. Even at break, you'd expect that you know how these movies go, like the smart kid has all the friends and all of, I had nothing like that. If anything, my classmates would always make sure, majority of them, especially the girls, would always find something that I could get into trouble for. So the one time, I'll never forget this day, I got chased out of class because this girl next to me, I don't want to say her name, I even remember her name.
Say it. We don't do that.
She told my teacher that I said the word boyfriend, okay? We in grade 2.
I'm still saying girlfriend. I'm saying baby in grade 1.
But
You know
like,
what I'm saying?
she was like, Thando said boyfriend and you know the S word. Remember the S word was
S word
such
was crazy. That one was crazy. Yeah.
And I'm sitting in the class and I'm confused, like, which Thando are you talking about? You know? And my teacher was just like, oh, that is so unacceptable, whatever. And she took me out the class, like, told me to get out. And like, I think that moment was so crazy to me because I think then I came to terms with the fact that these people actually don't like me. Like, there's no reason why I should be treated like this. And I wasn't even given the platform to explain myself, like, no, ma'am, I didn't say that, whatever. But because people's dislike for me was like so strong in that classroom, I had to suffer, and it carried on. So from grade 2 into grade 3 was the worst, actually. It just became a thing where I was singled out for not being like everyone else. So for a very long time, I tried to dumb myself down a bit in the sense that I wasn't doing much anymore. So when it came to competitions, I wasn't interested. When it came to like Olympiads, you know, all these things that the kids do.
Yes.
I didn't participate. I didn't want to participate in them unless a teacher put me on that platform because I just wanted to fit in with everyone. I wanted to have friends.
Yeah.
And I realized that the only way I can actually make friends is if I stop being singled out.
Sure.
So it was a lot. But yeah, so for most of my childhood, it was just that academics defined me.
Oh.
And I'm still fighting it now at the age of 20.
Yeah. And I
They
mean, like,
defined me in crazy ways, even in family. Let's say I meet someone or a family member introduces me to someone, they'd be like, oh, this is Thando, whoever's daughter. She's very smart. She gets all the A's in school. She's done this, she's done this. So I just felt like for a very long time, I started to be my accomplishments, my academic accomplishments. But like if I had to, let's say, they wouldn't describe me like, oh, she's naughty or she laughs a lot or she's always playing it would always be a thing that Uthando uyapasa, like that was her thing.
I mean, it's crazy that's crazy. And I think that firstly, social acceptance looks like it was a big part of your early childhood. And I guess it also ties into why you started speaking about academics the way you did yesterday. Because it's just something that's truly been entrenched.
My life.
And it's like, and also the label thing, you know, like every single time I meet someone, I'm like, oh, what do you do? It's like, I'm a student or whatever. Like we're so kind of, equated to these labels that we just feel like this is the way that we should be. And it's crazy that you want to live outside of that brand, but still kind of are threatened by it. It's like it will never truly leave you. Hey?
It's confusing.
Because I feel like you know what you want, but you don't want to let go from what you already know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's deep, bro. That's deep. I think we'll cry today, man. So I also want to ask that, you know, one thing I did realize is you kind of lightly sometimes mention later on in school, your matric year being quite a tough year for you. And I just wanted to really kind of unpack, like, why was matric? I mean, for those who don't know, matric in South Africa is grade 12. And so that is officially your final year of the matrix of school. And if you make it out of there, then like, you know, I mean, the Afrikaans saying is matric is nie trust nie. You know, so I want to understand, because I know for me, it was also horrendous because, you know, there was leadership, there was sports, there was obviously academics is its own beast. But what were your struggles about, I suppose, unique to yourself? Because I mean, you've already got that beast of Thando, you gotta get those A's, you gotta get those A's. So how was your matric year?
I never thought I'd ever be able to speak about my matric year to people. So matric was good in the sense that we started off on the right foot. Jan, we all excited, you know, wow guys, next year is uni. So I was super, super excited. And then March came in and it was COVID.
Oh, shucks.
Yes.
COVID-19.
Yes. Yeah. So,
that's tough.
Yeah. So what had happened is that, okay, we have to adjust to staying at home, working from home, and all of that. So what had happened is that I realized, because I think school ended on the 18th of March, 2020.
Okay.
I remember that date specifically. And they told us on, I think the buzz was happening during the weekend prior to that. And we had a maths test on that Monday. And we were all like, okay, that maths test is probably not going to happen because COVID, whatever. But we still wrote the test and we all failed. We all failed because we kept telling each other that, they'll cancel.
What school is this, by the way, now?
I was in Saheti.
Oh, you're in Saheti? That's crazy. You know, my brother goes to Saheti.
Really?
Yeah.
That is so cool. I love that place.
Nah, it's a scam, that place.
Personally, I love it. And you'll understand why.
Yeah.
So what happened is that... that was just me deviating. But I remember thinking, okay, if I'm going to stay home, I'm going to need Wi-Fi. And my mom was a single mom. And it was my mom, it was my baby brother, my helper. And then we lived in a small flat. And because of financial issues, my mom had to rent out the extra room in the flat.
Okay.
So we had 2 other people living with us in the house. So I just thought to myself, okay, I need to get like Wi-Fi to stay afloat because we can't leave. I need to show it's level 5. So I did a quick odd job, like an influencer thing. At the time was very simple. I just promoted someone's song on my story and they paid me 250. And then I got that 250 and I ordered a SIM card, the Rain SIM card.
Oh,
Rain.
I remember Rain, yeah.
And it was the 19 hours one where you have Wi-Fi for 19 hours and then for the remainder, there's no Wi-Fi in the home. So I got that SIM card so that we could have Wi-Fi at home. Okay, fine. That's good. It works for a while because school wasn't actually a thing in level 5 lockdown. So it worked because I was just on TikTok, TikTok was booming and all those things. So the important things weren't kicking in yet. And then I think 2 weeks after that, my school decided that we have to continue with block tests because we were writing tests during that period. And it stopped for 2 weeks so that they could implement a strategy forward. And then it resumed. And I realized that I live in a house with like 5-6 people. I'm not going to be able to work here. So I asked my aunts if I could live with her until I was done with block tests. So I went to Greenstone. I was staying with my aunts. It worked out well.
Greenstone is a suburb in Joburg.
Yes. So I lived with my aunts, wrote my tests. Everything was fine. Then I went back home. Now it's term 2. Term 2 starts, we're still in lockdown. Term 2 started in May, right? And this is where everything just changed for me. So what I would do is that even though we were online, I would wake up in the morning, get ready as if I'm going to school, and I'd wear my school uniform.
Okay. Sure. Okay.
Just to...
That's interesting.
Just to
okay.
put myself in the frame that I am at school.
Why was that important?
Focus.
Okay, so just by you wearing something, that was quite important.
Like, okay, I'm at school, like, because life was not normal. We had to make our own normal.
Yeah,
right?
fair, sure.
So I was like, okay,
Did other people do that, or was it just
No, it was just me. So every time we put our cameras on, Thando's in school uniform. And I'd tell the class, because I think we were a very open grade, I'd be like, guys, it helps me stay focused.
Sure, it's beautiful. Okay.
So that worked for a while. The motivation was there for like a week. Then it started becoming a bit difficult because my brother at the time was 2 years old. And I don't fault him for anything. He's a child. We live in a small space. It's loud. Also because we lived in a flat, there are kids who are not going to school as well. So they're playing outside. It's loud. I'm struggling to like participate in class, to hear the teachers. I'm just struggling to focus. Do you get what I mean? I also don't have a study desk. So I never had a study desk. I would use, the bar stools. My mom got me one. Whoa. It was like 500 Rand on Facebook Marketplace. And I'd study on the kitchen counter near the stove. So already that whole space, the setup is just not working. And there's one day I had a breakdown. I don't know what was happening. But I remember because it was so crazy. So if this is where I'm sitting, right? The TV was here. So do you see how close I was to the TV? It's a fridge. It's the stove. Like there was...
It's cramped up,
no space.
I get
so I think that specific morning, I remember my mom came in. They were eating breakfast and they were watching TV. Normal thing, right? But I'm at school. And they're doing home stuff. And I'm trying to do school stuff.
Yeah, maybe that's why I didn't want me to record in your place, actually. That makes sense. Makes sense. Anyways,
And I'm trying to tell them, like, okay, guys, can you please, like, keep quiet a bit? But my mom got irritated with me. She was like, Thando, what do you expect us to do? Like, we're trying, like, you can't expect us to be quiet, like, the whole time. And, basically that. But she got really irritated with me and she decided to go to the bedroom. And already now I feel bad because I'm basically, like, telling my mom and my brother and my helper, like, get out the house, but they have nowhere to go, you know. And I was upset that my mom was upset, like she wasn't hearing me. That's how I felt in the moment. So mid breakdown, I call my teacher. She was the director of academics. I think she still is the director of academics at Saheti. I call her and I just cry. Like, I was very honest in that moment. And I cried to her and I said, and I remember saying this and I tell this to everyone. I said to her, if you really want to see me pass my matric year, you're going to help me get out of this house. I can't do it here. Like, I really can't. And then she tried to get like an understanding of where I lived, and I explained to her. And then the first step was, okay, we'll get you noise cancelling headphones. Okay. It worked for like 2 days. And I was still feeling frustrated. And I think I sent an email to my principal. And we FaceTimed.
Whoa, crazy.
We called. I don't remember if it was FaceTime or if it was Teams, between the two, but it was a video chat. And it was so casual. And I just told him, like, I don't think I can make it, for lack of a better saying, in the space. And then he was like, would you like to go to school? And I said, yes. And he was like, are you going to be okay with going to school by yourself? And I was like, yeah, as long as I have a study space, I don't mind. Then he said, okay, we'll open up the school for you. So this is level 4, 5. And I wake up every day and I'm going to school. The school is empty. Saheti is empty. It's just me and the securities. Every day. From May till the last day of my matric year.
And it's lonely, huh?
I was alone. Like, I was alone. The only movements I would see were the cats at the school, you know.
Did you change places every
No,
day?
so I was given a specific room to study in, and the room was closer to the securities, also for safety. So I really liked that. And, you know, it just became a thing where I was just going to school every single day. And in order for me to maximize my studying hours, I pushed myself in crazy ways. So I'd leave at 6 a.m., like, because I know my first lesson's at 8, online though. And then I'd leave school at like 8 p.m. because I wanted to finish the school day and then like study. Right?
Oh, I see.
Yes. And I did that every single day for a very long time. And then at some point I started going on Saturdays as a tester. Then Saturdays became Sundays. There were points where, even because my scholarship would like organize drivers for us to take us to school. There's one time the driver, he asked me, he was like, Thando, please go home. It's Friday. Like, just go home. And I was like, I can't. I have to get a good mark. I have to go to university. Like, I have to get a scholarship. Like, I can't do that. And it became so, now when I reflect, it just makes me sad because I was just focused on my schoolwork to the point where I'd get home at 8 and my family would eat dinner quickly. As soon as I get in, everyone tries to wrap it up and they'd go sit in the room until they feel sleepy or they sleep, so that I still have added hours to study at home. So I'd get home at 8, maybe see my mom for maybe like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, because we're all eating. And then they'd go chill in the room. I lock the door so that the house is quiet. And then I'd study until like 12. Jeez. And I start every single day. There was one point where my body gave up on me. And I just slept on the floor in that office. Like, I just threw myself on the floor and I just cried. Because in my head, I was like, why is it so hard for me? Like, why does it have to be this crazy? Because I was tired. Like, that day I was tired.
Yeah.
Um,
No, I get it. I
it
think.
was so bad.
Yeah.
I don't know why I went that hard.
Yeah.
But it was so crazy. And then my friends would bring me food, like, because my friends live close to the school. There's like she one friend, Gabby, she'd bring me food, and I'd just live on that, because also, like I said, my mom wasn't in a good financial position, so I struggled with simple things at school like food. So when the school was operating well, we'd get food from the tuck shop, 2 meals a day. But now there is no tuck shop, and sometimes they not even sometimes, majority of the time, there was no money for lunch. But now I'm working from 6 to 8. I don't have any food. The only thing the school allowed me to go get was like hot chocolates in the mornings, because I mean the hot chocolate machine was always accessible. But beyond that, there was really nothing. So sometimes I knew that, okay, I can't even ask my mom for study aids, because in order for you to study well, you must be healthy,
100%.
So I had to call my friends and be like, guys, I don't have food at home, and I'm here till late. So Gabby would always bring me like a sandwich, chips,
Shout out
whatever.
to Gabby. Shout out to Gabby.
Yeah, no, Gabby's a real
Shout
one.
out to Gabby. Shout out to Gabby.
And then, okay, so we survived that. And then was the last, I almost said semester. Wow, it was the last term.
So November, the exams, yeah.
And my school continued with the office thing, but they gave me an office where everyone could see that I had one.
Yeah.
So like my teachers would joke and say it was Thando's home, because it was literally, you could see it. It was like, it had big glass windows and like a glass door.
Okay.
And I was always in there. And my principal had put up a sign on the door that says no entry. Because I was the only one who was, who could work there. Yeah. So I'd leave my things. It literally became like my house. Like, jeez. I'd leave, I had chargers there, I had food there. Sometimes my teachers would drop food off for me when I'm in class. And then let's say I'd break, I see, my teacher left me like food and stuff, because everyone just knew that Thando was at school every single day.
Jeez.
Every hour, this girl is at school. Yeah. My accounting teacher, bless her, she even introduced me to this thing of vitamins and stuff, because she bought me a bunch of vitamins for energy, and all these bars, like these jungle oats bars, all these things, so that I could stay afloat. So the school was very, very supportive of me. Like, teachers were super supportive, to the point where even like some girls I knew in younger grades would come and study with me on Sundays and on Saturdays, and the school would be empty. It would just be 5 of us, and we'd just study. Teachers would allow me to go into their classrooms and use their board maybe. So yeah, but it was a very taxing year.
Yeah. No, that's a beautiful
and it was very
story.
lonely.
It sounds.
It was so lonely, because I didn't get the opportunity to even spend time like with my family during that whole time. I remember even getting upset on my birthday. Well, my birthday was the next day, but it was a public holiday, and I wanted to go to school. And my mom was like, we have to go to your aunt's house. I didn't know they had planned a surprise birthday for me, but I was so angry, because like on the way there, I was so upset, because why, like, don't they understand that I have to study? Like, don't they understand that I have to, I should be at school. It's a public holiday. Like, I should be utilizing my time really well. And that just shows the unhealthy relationship I had with school there, where my mom, and like, okay, after I saw the whole surprise, the cake, whatever, my mom came to me and she was like, you see, like, you were angry for nothing. And I was like, yo, this is bad.
This is crazy. No one, even I, didn't even gauge that the terror, the storm that you went through in your matric year.
Yeah.
And now that it's over, and we'll move on to university, of course, but now that it's over, it's like, was it worth it? Yeah, because I mean, like, you put so much effort, And I mean, you did speak about how, your matric results, weren't once again,
reflective
of your of those tremendous efforts,
yeah,
to make it work. So, looking in hindsight, was all that grind worth it? Yeah.
I think it's also just, with that statement, when I said like my efforts weren't reflective, it's very important to also note that I was doing something I'd never seen being done before.
Yeah.
I was testing myself in ways I'd never tested myself before.
Yeah.
I was breaking boundaries in the sense that I was coming from a disadvantaged home and background. So I think for the most part, me doing that, I was working, I don't know how to put it. It's like working twice as much to get half of what the other kids were getting. That is that's how I described that season of my life. Because I was in a predominantly white school with very privileged kids who had access to everything. I only discovered YouTube in 2018, which is so crazy. Because I'd always hear the girls in class saying, "Oh, I'll just watch a YouTube on this concept when I get home," when they didn't understand something. I didn't even know what was YouTube. I was like, "Hey, izinto zabelungu." It was literally like, white people things. So, and when I started, getting to grips with, I have so much access to the internet, technology, Wi-Fi, whatever. It was also a first time thing for me. So when it comes to my matric, I'm not too hard on myself in the sense that, like, was it worth it? I truly believe it was because I pushed big boundaries for myself.
Yeah.
Like I actually set a new tone.
Sure.
I got to meet the real me. Like
that savage part.
stressed,
Yeah.
tired, hungry, angry, Thando, and I'm very grateful for that. And the thing is, when I was doing that, I had no scholarship. I had a scholarship in high school. So I got a scholarship in grade 6. I started applying for it in grade 6.
You were in Sahiti in grade 6?
No,
Oh,
I was at Jameson South.
Oh, okay.
And then I got the scholarship in grade 7 for high school.
Yeah.
And then the scholarship is only meant to be 5 years.
Yeah.
So I knew that, okay, at the end of matric, I have to find another scholarship that will take me to university, right? So I was very worried about that. So I was basically working towards, hopefully if I work so much, something will find me and I'll get the opportunity to go to uni.
100%.
I remember sitting with my mom and I told her, I don't think I'm going to go to university.
Thando.
I told, and she was so sad. I was like, I don't think I can go to university because we can't afford it. I told her that. I was like, we can't afford it. So maybe if I go part-time. And it hurt her and she was like, I'll make sure you go to school. And I was like, Ma, I don't want you to go through that because we can't even afford grocery. Even taxi money for you to go to work. It's not there. University is a beast. So I don't think I'm gonna go to university. So that was like crazy for her and for me to also come to terms with, because I had said it in my mind, like, I'm not going, I don't have the resources. But I truly believe that the way I showed myself and the way I dedicated myself to my academics is the reason why I'm here now, because at the end of the year in matric, my scholarship, the one that was meant to end, gave me a call and they said they'd like to extend my scholarship beyond high school. They want to take me to uni. And I just feel like that was just a testament to all the trying times, because one thing about the scholarship I'm on, it's 5 years. Like, it's just high school. And then after that, you figure yourself out. And to think that now I've been with them for 8 years, because I'm still on it now, just shows that, yes, my work is not reflective of those marks. But in terms of my life, has changed it, like in great ways.
Sure, life is a special way to repay us back sometimes.
Yeah.
And not in the ways that we want to. Sure, that is.
No, that's the way I see it as well. It's like, yes, I'm not getting that A or whatever, but I'm on a scholarship.
Yeah. True
My
that.
school fees is
At
paid.
UCT. Yeah. That's crazy.
It's been paid for a long time now. Like, so
Sure. Damn.
I think it was worth it in that sense. Yeah.
Sure, that's beautiful, man. Now, I think that story for me, I think it's, I wanted to really listen to it, you know. And I think it does in many ways have, it's like tattooed in your brain, you know, it'll forever be such an important year in your life, you know. And I think that, thank you so much for sharing that with us. And it really, once again, unveils like behind the Instagram and the content creator. You know? But before we get to uni, I wanted to just take a quick diversion to content creation, actually. You know, and I think this is obviously on the other side of the academic. And, you know, you started your YouTube channel just about a year now, just over a year now. And it was, it was, what was that first video, by the way?
It was my apartment.
Yes, your apartment tour. Yes. Oof. That's why I want to go there, bro. But anyways, bigger than me. And I wanted to ask, like, you know, you obviously spoke about how you wanted to obviously originally start a YouTube channel. And it's always been something at the back of your mind. But what got you to like pick up the camera and like, you know, from taking your phone like this to like this now? It's like, oh shit, okay, we're recording now. Why did you want to start this YouTube channel?
It's actually so ironic because I feel like I always preach to people. I think even in the last, 3 videos I've posted.
Yeah.
I had a rant saying like...
You've got a lot of nuggets of wisdom.
I was like, in one of my vlogs, I was telling my my YouTube family there that like, don't wait until everything's perfect. Like, start now. Don't wait until you have a camera to start your channel. Don't wait until you have this and this and this to start your channel. Which is so ironic because that is what I did. I waited.
Really?
So
that's crazy.
No, my mom motivated me into doing YouTube from high school. Okay. You know, as soon as I discovered what it was, and I was like, oh man, this is cool. Like, you know. She was like, you know, Madam Tanam, you are just like these people. Like, you know, you can also do that. But in my mind, I was always, I'd always say, I don't have the correct equipment. I don't have the perfect home for it. I don't have the perfect life for it, you know, because at that time, it was so hard to be truly authentic when you are surrounded by people who are not like you in the slightest. So if I had to start, like, let's say I vlog in high school and I'm vlogging in my little flat nyana and we don't have much, like, what exactly am I showing and where will I get my motivation from? Because when I look around me, I'm just surrounded by people who have it all. You get what I mean? So I just felt like I'd be exposing myself to something I wasn't ready to deal with, you know? Because like I said, in high school, man, like those times were tough. Like there was a time where we had no furniture at home, right? It's like nothing at all. So even when I studied, I'd put a towel on the floor, like a towel and, you know, your blanket that you see put on the floor so I can like work on the floor. So imagine me vlogging that. Like I'm still dealing with the fact that there's nothing at home and now I have to show that to people. So that was very difficult for me to just grapple with. And then what had happened is that in my mind, I was like, I'm going to work so hard to get to that Thando I want to be, and then I'll start a channel. And that's what I did, because when I got my apartment, I just felt like, yo, this is crazy. Like people need to see this. Do you get what I mean? And I also felt like, okay, I'm ready now. Like I have it all now. I have an apartment. I'm on a scholarship. My money is flowing well. I have a perfect life now.
But so do you think that was the right approach though?
No, that's what I'm saying. It wasn't.
Yeah.
definitely wasn't.
Yeah,
But it was one of the reasons why I thought I was ready to start the channel.
I see.
Because I felt that I'm at a perfect time in my life. And now I don't have much to be embarrassed about.
Oh, I see.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So even if I make a vlog, like, there's not really much
Yeah.
that I'm scared to show because I live in such a nice house and whatever, you know, things like that. So it was very, I don't know. It wasn't in a good, it didn't start off from a good thing.
But it still started. I think that's what I like.
Yeah.
I like the fact that it still started. And I
think the more I continued, the less perfect it became.
And that's the thing that I realized about your channel, you know, all those 30 odd videos, is that like there's so much rawness in what you say, hey? Like it's pretty uncut. Like you don't really, you just, it's like, you know, it's not a big YouTuber, Naledi Malele.
Oh, yeah.
She's also like, she's got your similar style. Where like you guys are just raw, like as raw can be. Like you wake up and you pick up the camera. I'm like, fuck bro, that's what we want, dude. You know, so like you could in many ways have the camera set up nicely and you know, and okay, there are some videos like that, like the university advice one, whatever.
Yes.
But
where it was like curated.
For the most part it's very raw and authentic.
Yeah.
You know, was that done intentionally or like just because
No, I've said this to my best friend actually, that, and when people say that to me, like, oh, Thando, you show your real life.
Yeah.
And I was like to them, if I had to fake it, I wouldn't get anywhere.
Yeah, that's so
like,
true.
I really wouldn't get anywhere.
Yeah, that's so true.
Because I just can't, I feel like not showing who I really am would take more effort than me just filming whatever I'm filming or ranting on my Instagram at 1 a.m. in the morning. It would take so much of my life that I wouldn't enjoy it anymore. Do you get what I mean? And I think it just ties back to the reason, to what we just spoke about me starting my channel. I've been trying to dismantle that idea that I have to be perfect to do something, you know? And that's why I just allow it.
Sure.
Do you get what I mean?
That is beautiful. Truly, that is beautiful. We need more women like that, to be fair. We need more women like, I think that one of the biggest lies that are told to our women creators is the belief that they should be this perfect woman. You know? Which is great, man. But obviously then you push a different narrative though on your Instagram. Because your Instagram has
I don't think it's perfect.
I guess it's not perfect. You're right. It isn't perfect, but it definitely has that influencer like lifestyle type vibe. What is your objective with the Instagram? You know, with the Instagram, where am I getting it wrong here? I want to understand that.
I think you've got it all wrong.
Happy with that.
With my Instagram, it's just, it looks like an influencer Instagram in terms of like my pictures. Like obviously, if I'm gonna take a picture and put it on social media, I have to look good. I have to look good for that. We're not gonna dispute that. And for the most part, my Instagram is also just full of, it's like a portfolio. Like it literally looks like an influencer portfolio. It's just a Nedbank videos, and then it's like I don't know. It's just very businessy, you know. And I tried that raw approach on my Instagram at some point where I was doing daily vlogs on my Instagram, and it was good. It was nice, but I think the thing, or the problem with Instagram, is that everyone just wants to be so serious. Like, I just feel like it's one of the most confined spaces. You know, like everyone's just trying to be mysterious and you know, like, why are you posting all of these? Like, I'd see even like on Twitter, people say posting on Instagram has become so embarrassing, or posting on Instagram gives me so much anxiety, whatever. It's because everyone is so serious on there. So at this point, it's just like,
now you treat it like a business, eh?
I treat it like my business. And then here and there, I will show my personality, and you know, I'll laugh when I need to laugh, or I'll post like this morning was a perfect example, or just a video just speaking about what I'm going through, etc. And
I saw it grew though. When did it start growing? Like, you know, did it start growing more on the business side of stuff when you started having more business stuff?
No, now it's dead.
Now it's dead
because people didn't follow me for that.
Oh, crazy!
They followed me because they know that I don't mind going on camera
I
and
see.
speaking and being open. But now I'm becoming
Businessy.
scared.
Yeah.
And I'm becoming businessy.
Yeah.
Like there was a time, I think 3 weeks ago, I was just posting sponsored content. And I felt so out of touch.
Yeah.
Because it just felt like I'm putting my portfolio together.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm not like actually communicating and talking to my followers. Like if there's one thing I've always done, and I've done it intentionally, I answer all my DMs. I speak to everyone, anything and everyone.
Even the niggas.
Everyone.
Oh, shut up.
Even if they come with that whole thing or chances, whatever, I'll still say thank you to your message. It doesn't mean I'm going to agree to see you or they
100%.
I just feel like no one on my Instagram is my fan. That's one thing I always say. No one there is a fan. These are people who are just supporting me and they like what I do, therefore they follow me. But there's no reason to treat them like fans. And so that's what I do. I answer all my DMs. If people need advice, provided that I have the emotional capacity at times,
100%.
I respond. I do all of that behind the scenes because obviously you guys don't see my DMs and stuff,
100%,
right?
100%.
But then when it comes to post, I haven't even posted a photo set in a while, or I post dispersely because I just feel like it just needs perfect people, and I can't do that. I can't put that pressure on myself.
I get that. I
really can't. So I've been really struggling with Instagram on its own because it's like so perfect.
Yeah, I get that, you know. And I think just out of interest though, you know, you when I was doing, you know, some research, I realized that you've been a part of like a lot of brands. Just to name a couple, you had Nedbank, Greenbacks, SC. There was like some government international scholarships one that you did. There was, you know, that Pantene hair. If am I correct? You know, am I pronouncing it correctly?
Yes,
there's
yes,
Cotton on Africa. There's Swim. There's Show Rehab. There's the Cosmos Swimwear. Like it's crazy how many brands you've been able to get to. I do know that Factory was your first one, right? Yes. And so that Factory one,
I think it was my first
like official Instagram one.
Okay.
Factory. Wait, so are you gonna tell us some numbers? Because you know, I think people out there are pretty interested about like what brands are like paying you. Can we get some numbers? You know, I'm so interested in getting like a gauge.
You would ask something.
Yeah, I mean, we gotta know something, you know, because I mean, like if I'm a watcher there, I want to become an influencer. I want to know kind of like, what am I playing with, you know, based off your followers, based off, you know, if you can just give us like a bracket, you know, like an estimate. You know?
I think what I can say is that my biggest brand deal is Nedbank.
Okay.
Because I am a Nedbank partner.
Okay.
And you know, I've been working with them for the past 6 months, and our contract just got extended, so it's going to be another.
Oh, congratulations for that, though. Yeah. Shout out.
Thank you. And all I can say, obviously, I can't say the number. All I can say is that it's changing my life.
It's changing your life. That's what we like, bro. That's what we like.
It's changing my life. Like
we can't even get like a bracket, like a 5 to 10,
like
10 to 20.
All I can say is that like Nedbank has, like, it bought me this camera.
Yeah. Oh, crazy. Yeah.
It's bought me all the equipments to make my channel better.
Yeah.
It's the reason why I can catch an Uber and go to school every day.
Yeah.
So yeah, Shane, they really, they set me right. It's the biggest brand deal I've like had in terms of remuneration.
Yeah. And how did you bag that?
I don't know. I just got an email like, "Hi, Nedbank would like to," and I thought it was spam.
Yeah.
Until I read, and I was like, "Hey, let me actually read this email." And I looked, then it's like, "You'll be remunerated." See,
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Then I was like, okay, let me respond and see what they say. And then they start speaking about contracts. And then I saw the contract and we had a Teams meeting. And hey, this is actually like this influencer agency is actually like this is Nedbank. Like it's not a joke.
Yeah, 100%.
They sent a brief. Nedbank. They told us, okay, you must do this. And I was like, oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
It was very random.
100%. That's beautiful, and the fact that it should kind of pushed you into a better trajectory is a great thing.
Yeah.
So if because I mean I just want to say, just off the basis that you work with Nedbank, so many other brands, truly the hunger is something that has emulated throughout your life. The idea of trying to work for people, like just trying to work your ass off, is just crazy to me. And I really, really just I look at that with the utmost respect. So for somebody kind of looking out from the inside, looking in, what advice would you give them as a kind of trying to become an influencer, trying to kind of find those brand deals, and hopefully one day, enjoying the fruits of your labor?
I think when it comes to that, I'm also still trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'm still a micro influencer. I'm really trying my hardest to get with the big people, and that's why I don't know if I can give concrete advice on brand deals and stuff.
That's
because I've never gone after them.
Yeah, they've always come to you.
Yes.
Okay.
But like I said in the beginning, your Instagram is basically your portfolio. Like you can't, and I've seen this a lot, and no offense to anyone, but you can't say you're an influencer and you're not posting influencer type content. Right.
That's a good point.
Because it's very easy to put in your bio content creator.
Yeah.
Right. But show us.
Yeah.
Build an audience. Be authentic. That's one thing. It's easier to keep up when you're authentic. And just actually do the work like that you say you are. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah,
so do your daily vlogs on your TikTok.
Yeah.
Do fashion hauls. Nothing has to be new. So you don't have to now go buy new clothes so you can film a new video or stuff. Work with what you have.
Yeah,
just make content.
Yeah.
Get inspiration from your favorites and then just, add your touch.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the thing. It's just like people just think, or this is what I think some people think. Also based off like the messages I receive sometimes, people will ask me, Thando, how did you get factory to work with you?
Yeah.
And there's one time I responded to a girl, I was like, but I'm an influencer.
Yeah.
Like it's my job.
100%.
Like it comes with it's my job. It's not like I'm just sitting and then I messaged factory and I'm like, hi guys, please work with me. Do you get what I mean? So if you model yourself in that way, obviously it's gonna come to you because it's your field.
I love that piece of advice.
Like it's your field.
I love that. If I want to lose weight, I should become an athlete. You know what I'm saying? If I want to become an influencer and get in, I should become I should live that brand. I love that. I love that advice,
Yeah.
But then you're an influencer, but also an entrepreneur now.
Oh, yeah.
It just doesn't end here, bro. I mean, we didn't hit university, but, she's studying, by the way, chartered accountancy on her way, big purr. Shout out to her for that. I don't know if we're going to have time to talk about that, but I just really want to talk about the business end of lash. Is it lashed?
It's lashed.
Lashed lashes. Lashed luxury lashes.
Lashed luxury lashes.
Say less, what, why, when, how, who.
So that is my first baby.
Ooh.
She's currently on hold now. She's resting a bit.
Okay.
I chose to put her on the side so I can focus on YouTube and other passions.
Yeah.
But very random. My business was so random.
Okay.
I remember just texting my mom, like, Ma, do you think if I could, do something like lashes, it would work out? And she was like, yeah. And that's it. And then the one time I saw a quote on Twitter that said, these American influencers will sell 3 lashes and buy a G-Wagon, right? And I screenshotted it and I put on my story and I laughed because it's real. Like, and my friend Kanye responded and she was like, start a lash business. And I was like, actually, no. She's like, no, like, start one. Yeah. And then I was like, she's like, Thando. I'm like, hey, I'll think about it. Yeah. And she didn't know that she actually just said that dream in me. Like, she placed it in me. So I was like, okay, let me do my research. Yeah. So for a while, I was just searching, like, suppliers and all of those things. I found a supplier. She's also studying the same degree as I am, actually. And, from there, it was just seamless. Like, even deciding my acrylic box, the type of lashes I want. It was seamless, and that's how I knew that I was meant to do this. Like,
Yeah.
I was actually meant to touch this. But I think for the most part, I started my business just to see if I could do it.
Oh, so it wasn't okay. That's because I was going to actually ask, like, what makes your lashes different?
Yeah.
Or was it more from a point of I want to just do this for experience?
It is a great product.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I really, like, I can advocate for my lashes the whole day.
Put it on.
But I think the most important thing I want to highlight is that I just wanted to see. Like, I wanted to see, like.
Gee, sounds
I needed
you
a
fascinate me,
challenge.
bro. You fascinate me.
Like, I just needed a, like, I wanted to see, like, okay, I'm a student, but
Can I start a business?
let me start a business.
Yeah.
Will it be, what will I learn? What will I get? You know? And I think that's also why it was so easy for me to also put it on hold once it's sold out.
Yeah.
Because my challenge is done for now.
Oof.
That's what I tell my friends. Like, people be like, Thando, bring back your lashes. And I'm like, when the time is right. Because people think like I was doing it, you know, for every other reason why anyone would start a business. But I was testing the waters. And I really enjoyed it. I really did.
Yeah, that's crazy. So
Yeah.
will it ever come back?
I don't know.
Okay. We'll leave it at that. Ladies. I'm going to link it down below so you can spam those emails. And tell them, bro, we need some lashes out here, bro. Nah, but I get that. Okay. So, you know, we spoke about brand deals. We spoke about, you know, the businesses. And we haven't really gotten into university. And I want this to be kind of our last topic today.
Sure.
And so, obviously, you know, there's a lot going on in your life, clearly.
Yeah.
And now there's a different beast. Completely different beast, and this beast is known as UCT. And you're in your third year, right now? Yes. And I wanted to ask, you know, I truly believe that people do things for two reasons, that being the good reason or the real reason. And I want to understand, what's your real reason for studying chartered accountancy?
I love accounting. No, listen to me. I do.
Thanks, guys. You should like, comment, share, and subscribe.
I actually love it. And I know it sounds so basic when I say that. It's like, okay, but I really do.
Yeah.
In primary, we didn't have fancy things like accounting. We had EMS.
Ooh, oh, yeah, I remember
where
EMS.
we spoke about needs and wants.
And
then it was a wrap.
Days.
Right? And then it was a wrap. I go to this private school, and we're doing so many subjects, and one of them is accounting. I'm like, hey, boy, what is accounting? Get into the accounting class, the funniest teacher. I hope I find him one day. I have to thank him because...
What's his name?
Mr. Moreira.
Shout out to Mr. Moreira. What a legend.
What a star.
Yeah.
He really, he did a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, grade 8's accounting. Wow, like this is my thing. Like I like it. It's like I'm getting it. Grade 9, hi, guys. This is my thing. You know.
So do you like it though because it's easy or because you just find it?
I don't think it's easy.
Oh, you don't think it's easy?
I don't think it's easy.
Okay.
But I like doing it
because you're getting it right, or.
No, I don't get it right.
Oh, you don't get it right?
Oh, no,
that's crazy. That's crazy. Okay.
I don't always get it right.
Because I feel like most people like things because they get it right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I mean, that's normal.
Yeah,
like, if something is really good to you, you want to stay in it.
Yeah,
right?
I'll say less.
No, me, accounting beats me up. And I'm still there. Like, I really enjoy accounting. Like, even with all these modules that I do, I'd rather study accounting.
Sure.
Because it's also always my highest mark in all my courses. Because I love it.
Yeah, I get it.
I really do enjoy it. And doing it in high school was also really exciting. You know, I don't know. There's something about it that makes me really excited. You know, I just like the whole thing. I don't know, but
okay, I'll take that.
Yeah,
I'll take. So you're studying finances accounting, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And like, do you think that you know the university experience has reshaped you, or have you kind of stayed the same? You know, because you've lived that 2020 period was quite a like. In many ways, it felt like you were growing too fast.
Yeah.
You know, and so
definitely.
now that you've grown so fast, did anything really change in university?
I think in uni it enhanced all those things I was planting in 2020. So it was like in 2020 I was planting them.
Yeah.
Because in 2021 upwards, I was gonna have to start, I don't know, reaping
Yeah.
all those things I
Those rules.
planted.
Yeah.
So, for example, when it comes to independence or just being okay with not being with my family a lot, that became a thing when I got to uni.
Yeah.
Because I'm in Cape Town, they're all in Joburg.
Yeah.
And then also when I started my university journey, my mom passed away.
Oof.
So that was also something else that I
Yeah.
had to deal with. But then I'm not saying just because I went through that phase in matric, I'm okay now. I'm just saying that it sets a tone because I'm okay with my independence now. You know, being independent, it comes easy to me. I don't mind being alone, like at all. That's also why I'm not dating.
Oh.
And like, I just feel like in that sense, university has just like turned the volume up on who I really am. Do you get what I mean? But now applying all of those values with real life things, like losing a parent at 19 or like failing modules, you know, things I never knew I could even do, like fail, you know.
So crazy.
But it's just like all those things were planted in me
Yeah.
in my journey, and now I'm just trying to use them in the best way possible. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, 100% it does.
Yeah. So university has been a good experience for me. I just I wouldn't even say it's been lonely.
Yeah.
Because I've learned to love the alone moments, you know, compared to like when I was doing the exact same thing I'm doing now in grade 12. I was sad because I was so lonely. But like now I'm just like, oh, thank God.
Sure.
You know. So yeah, but it's very fun. I've been trying to find a balance with it.
As always.
Just living it up. And
Yeah.
also because I work so many jobs, like it's YouTube, and then it's like I say Instagram as a job because it's so separate from YouTube.
I get that.
And then it's also like I do club hostings.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah.
Do you hold the bottles?
Oh no, host.
Oh, I thought you.
Like,
I thought you. No,
I have fun.
No, I thought you do these.
Oh no.
No.
I don't think I could. It's very nerve wracking.
Yeah,
like
fair.
I watch them all the time, and I'm like,
Yeah.
Oh,
That's crazy. Like, oh, we need another episode, man. Aren't you?
So I just think in uni, I'm just dealing with the challenges as they come.
But you've been prepared for it, you know.
Yeah.
No, it's crazy, you know.
Yeah, and just adapting what I thought I knew.
Yeah.
To what it actually is.
That's deep, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, Thando, I think there are a lot of conversations I have in this life that I anticipate where they go.
Yeah.
You know, and most of the time, I think I give myself like a 95% success rate.
Yeah.
But there's that 5% where I meet people like you that give me a completely different story as to one that I've experienced. And I think that the amount of adversity you faced in your life and the continued pursuing of success in your definition has truly been something that is inspirational. And it just shows you that there's so much more to a content creator, an influencer, a black African girl that's trying to do great in society one day. So, you know, just to kill those up, I love to ask this question to our guests because I feel like it sums up their life quite beautifully. And I think, you know, if I can get another episode, I'd really like that. But that rate is kind of hectic, man. Damn. I wanted to ask, you know, if you were guaranteed that all the pursuits in this life, given all the pursuits in this life, that you would die on the day that your children were born, and you just had to just leave them with one single note about the way they should live their life, what would you say to them?
One single note.
One single note.
I think I would say what I've been saying to my friends for a while. I think it's been the theme of my life in the past month. I always say this, and I think I said it in my uni video on YouTube, that the best way to honor yourself is by listening to yourself.
Boom.
Yeah.
Boom.
So whatever that means to them.
The best way of honoring yourself
is by listening.
Is by listening to yourself.
Yeah.
Boom. Ladies and gentlemen, what an absolute legend. Sure, Thando. Yeah, man, we're gonna link all your social medias down below. YouTube channels, everything, every single. I don't know if I'll be able to have space there in the comment section. But anyways, people, thank you so much for listening, watching, and subscribing. We'll be back. Hopefully next week. I don't know, but we'll see you next time. Sayonara. Peace.